Hello everyone, here is Bhavana. Let's discuss about the structure and functioning mechanism of a human ear. Ear performs two sensory functions, that is, hearing and maintenance of body balance. Anatomically, ear is divided into outer ear, middle ear and inner ear. Pinna and external auditory meters constitutes outer ear. The simple tip here is, we'll keep pins, that is tops, on outer surface of ear. So outer ear has pinna, and outer also means external auditory meters. Or you can simply remember the word PEMO. P stands for pinna, EM means external auditory meters, and O stands for outer ear. You can follow either of the two tips. This is pinna. Pinna collects vibration in air, and this tube is external auditory meters. It leads inward and extends up to the tympanic membrane, that is the eardrum. This tympanic membrane is also known as eardrum. Fine hair and wax secreting glands are present in the skin of pinna and external auditory meters. They secrete wax. These are known as ceruminous glands. Eardrum is composed of connective tissue and is covered with skin outside and mucous membrane inside. Just remember the basic thing, the skin will be the outer covering everywhere and the mucus will be present inside. The question may arise from this point, which is the outer covering and mucus is present outside or inside. Be careful with this point. This is the tympanic membrane, that is eardrum. It is covered with skin outside and mucus inside, and it is composed of connective tissue. Middle ear consists of three ear ossicles, that is malleus, incus, stapes. These ear ossicles increase the efficiency of transmission of sound waves to the inner ear. This order is important: malleus, incus, stapes. Remember the word miss. Malleus, incus and stapes. Ear ossicles are attached to each other in a chain-like fashion. This is the malleus, this is the incus and this is the stapes. They are attached in a chain-like fashion. And this malleus is attached to tympanic membrane, that is eardrum, and the stapes is attached to the oval window. The point here is important. Malleus is attached to which? The chronology, the order is also important here. Eustachian tube connects middle ear with the pharynx. This is the eustachian tube. It helps in equalizing pressure on either sides of the tympanic membrane, that is eardrum. Fluid-filled inner ear is composed of two systems: auditory system, labyrinth, and vestibular apparatus. The tip to remember here is the word LOVE. L stands for labyrinth and V stands for vestibular apparatus. Don't take it in a wrong way. Labyrinth is categorized into bony labyrinth and membranous labyrinth. Bony labyrinth is a series of channels which is filled with perilymph. Retinar and basilar membrane divide bony labyrinth into upper scala vestibuli and lower scala tympani. Which is the upper part and which is the lower part? There is a confusion here. In alphabetical chronology, V comes first and the T comes next. So V is the upper part, vestibuli, and T, tympani, is the lower part. This is the retinar membrane and this is a basilar membrane. These membranes divide the labyrinth, the bony labyrinth, into upper part scala vestibuli and the lower part scala tympani. V is the upper part and T is the lower part. Scala vestibuli ends at oval window and the scala tympani terminates at round window. And this round window opens into the middle ear. This point is very important. See vestibuli and oval window. Remember the word vivo. Vestibuli ends at scala vestibuli ends at oval window. And here remember the word tree. T means tympani. R means round window. Scala tympani terminates at round window. And in the word tympani we are having the letter M. So scala tympani ends at round window which opens into the middle ear. So M, middle ear. Membranous labyrinth is present within the bony labyrinth and it is filled with endolymph surrounded by the perilymph. Here the blue is bony labyrinth and orange is membranous labyrinth. These are the canals. This is bony labyrinth, blue colored part, and within the bony labyrinth we are having orange colored part, that is membranous labyrinth. The membranous labyrinth is present within the channels of bony labyrinth. The bony labyrinth is filled with a fluid known as perilymph. This inside blue colored fluid is bony labyrinth, and this membranous labyrinth is filled with a fluid known as endolymph. So membranous labyrinth is filled with endolymph and it is surrounded by perilymph. I hope you are clear with this point. And the coiled part of labyrinth is known as the cochlea. This is the cochlea, coiled part of the labyrinth. Space within cochlea called scala media is filled with endolymph. This is cochlea. In this, the two parts, scala vestibuli and scala tympani, are the parts of bony labyrinth. So they are filled with perilymph, and within the bony labyrinth, we will be having the membranous labyrinth. Membranous labyrinth is present within the bony labyrinth. So this middle part is the membranous labyrinth and is known as scala media. As it is membranous labyrinth, it is filled with endolymph, and these two parts, scala vestibuli and scala tympani, are filled with perilymph. Within this bony labyrinth is the membranous labyrinth, that is scala media. In alphabetical chronology, vestibuli, V comes first, so it is the upper part, and T comes last, so it is the lower part, and media, M means middle, so it is the middle part. Organ of Corti is a structure located on basilar membrane of the cochlea. It contains hair cells that act as auditory receptors. These hair cells are present in a row on internal side of organ of Corti. Each hair cell is associated with afferent nerve at its basal end and base stereocilia at its apical part. The tectorial membrane is a thin elastic membrane above the hair cells. This is the organ of Corti. It is situated on the basilar membrane. Any structure needs base to be held in a position. So basilar membrane forms the base. Remember, organ of Corti is situated on a base, that is basilar membrane. The question may arise from here. And these are the hair cells. They have afferent nerves at its basal end and apical part, base stereocilia. And this is the tectorial membrane. It is a thin elastic membrane which is present above these hair cells. Inner ear also contains a complex system known as vestibular apparatus, which is influenced by gravity and movements, and it is located above the cochlea. It is composed of 3 semicircular canals and an otolith organ. 3 semicircular canals lie in different planes and perpendicular to each other. This is the vestibular apparatus and it is located above the cochlea, and these are the 3 semicircular canals which lie in different plane. Each canal lie in a different plane, and these 3 canals are perpendicular to each other like XYZ axis. Otolith organ is composed of saccule and utricle. The mnemonic here is Sakku ne oto se U-shaped tree ke paas gaya. Sakku is a girl who went to U-shaped tree through Otto, the transport medium. So Sakku stands for saccule and U-tree stands for utricle, and O2 is otolith organ. This is saccule and this is utricle. These two organs, saccule and utricle, together make the otolith organ. Swollen base of semicircular canals is known as ampulla, and it contains a projecting ridge called crista ampullaris which has hair cells. This is the swollen base of semicircular canals and it is known as the ampulla, and it has the ridge, this pink colored part, projecting ridge, and it is known as the crista ampullaris. Saccule and utricle contain a projecting ridge called macula. These are saccule and utricle and they have projecting ridge, orange colored part, and it is known as the macula. Mechanism of hearing. External ear receives sound waves and direct them to eardrum. As a consequence, eardrum vibrates and these vibrations are transmitted to oval window through ear ossicles. As we discussed earlier, these ossicles increase the efficiency of sound and transmit them to oval window. From oval window, vibrations are passed to the fluid of cochlea. As a result, waves in lymph are generated in the fluid of cochlea and they induce ripple on the basilar membrane. Basilar membrane is a membrane which is located in the cochlea, and along with the resinar membrane, it divides the cochlea into upper scala vestibuli and the lower scala tympani. An organ of Corti is a structure located on the basilar membrane. As there is a movement in this basilar membrane, it bends hair cells against the tectorial membrane. Hair cells of the organ of Corti will bend against the tectorial membrane. As a consequence, nerve impulses are generated in the associated afferent neurons of the hair cells. These afferent neurons are present at the basal end of the hair cells, and these impulses are transmitted by the afferent fibers via auditory nerves to the auditory cortex of the brain, where the impulses are analyzed and the sound is recognized. The external ear collects vibrations in air and transmit them to the eardrum. As a result, the eardrum will vibrate and these vibrations are transmitted to the oval window. This is the oval window through these ear ossicles, and these ossicles increase the efficiency of the sound. From oval window, vibrations are passed onto the fluid of cochlea. This is the cochlea. Waves and lymph are generated in the fluid of cochlea and they induce the ripple on the basilar membrane. This is the basilar membrane, and organ of Corti is a structure located above the basilar membrane. And these vibrations in the fluid of cochlea will induce ripple in the basilar membrane, As a result, these hair cells of organ of Corti bend and press against the tectorial membrane. This is the tectorial membrane. As a consequence, the afferent nerves which are associated at the basal end of the hair cells will generate impulses, and these impulses are carried to the auditory cortex of the brain through afferent fibers through auditory nerves, where impulses are analyzed and our sound is recognized. Give your brain some active work by solving these questions. Try to answer these questions without looking into your NCRT. Thin elastic membrane covering sensory hair cells is retinar membrane, tectorial membrane, basilar membrane, neurosensory membrane. Pause the video and try to answer. The correct option is tectorial membrane. Balancing organ of ear, lagena and sacculus, semicircular canal and utriculus, semicircular canal and ossicles, otolith and lagena. What is the balancing organ of ear? It is vestibular apparatus. It is composed of semicircular canal and the otolith organ, that is saccula and utriculus. So the correct option is B, semicircular canal and utriculus. Which of the following statement is correct? Malleus is attached to oval window. Malleus is attached to the tympanic membrane. Stapes is attached to tympanic membrane. No, stapes is attached to the oval window. Eardrum is also known as the basilar membrane. Eardrum is also known as the tympanic membrane. Organ of Corti is located on basilar membrane. Yes, it's correct. Organ of Corti is located on the basilar membrane, and basilar membrane acts as the base for organ of Corti. Match the following columns and select the correct option. Organ of Corti, it is located on the basilar membrane. So the A4, cochlea. Cochlea is the coiled part of labyrinth. B2, eustachian tube connects middle ear and pharynx. C is 1. And stapes. Stapes is attached to the oval window. D is 3. So the correct option is C, and this question is asked in the NEET 2020. Which of the following receptors are specifically responsible for maintenance of balance of body and posture? Crista and macula. Crista ampullaris and the macula are responsible for the maintenance of body balance and the posture. This question is asked in NEET 2019. Immediately after this session, please read this topic from NCRT. It is inevitable to read the NCRT. Please don't waste your time. At the end of your journey, you should never regret that I have wasted that particular second. All these consistent hard work will add up and give you the success at the end. I hope you found this video helpful. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. It would mean a lot